That what, not even cook. I wear the disguise of such an old man. It is suddenly pressed down. Forced a case of the kimono. He had been covered with a wig. I also. Actually. But I'm better not do not know. When a policeman has been depressed. Husband. Taking me hand. I jumped up to the attic. If there is a hidden closet in that room. There placed in the various disguises of costume. My husband from among them. Clothes in a policeman. And taken out. Such as hat. And put on quickly learn. The grandfather of the kimono was wearing until now. Dressed to me. Suddenly. Caught a thief. While sea lions now. I've pressed down so as not to be stuck. Come to think of it from now on. In other words, policemen of the police inspector's subordinates. To find 20 countenance. I always was mises that jumps over suddenly. Doing your play. Because attic room house is dark. Midst of that turmoil. There is no Wikariko something face. I could not be Hada. After all, when it comes my husband. Because it is Haluva force it. Quote. Nakamura chief is a pale and stiff face. It remained silent, was pushed vigorously tabletop bell. And, Inspector and his cow would Asu, one of the police officers who surrounded the abandoned house of the morning Toyama Keihara. Front door. To the 4 police officers who served the turn, Hari saw the back door. I was allowed to say so soon come. Before long, the police officers of the 4 people that have been entered. The chief was glared at the scary face. When I was arrested, this guy. I guess none of them went out from that house. That person, as it might have been dressed policeman, I guess did not see anyone. In response to the question, he replied, the police alone. I went out alone. If policeman, thief and go to have caught was because early in the 2nd floor. Keep shouting. As opposed to us to start running in toward the stairs, panic. The man ran to the outside, went. Why? I'm silently it until now. Daiichi, you either did not see the face of the man. How much just because was wearing the uniform of the police officers. If you look at the face, should soon see whether fake person is not it. The chief of the forehead, the vein has horribly Fukuriaga. I did not have time to see the face. And came running like the wind. Because the thing that went pop out like the wind. However, since I was a little thought to distrust. You where to you go and was multiplied by the voice. Then the man. It as phone. I'm going to make a phone call in a good wearing of the chief. And screaming. I have ran. If the phone. So that there is no example so far. I did not doubt it more. And, thief is. Because I got stuck. And I forgot something that the police officers went fledgling. It was not with your report. Quote. Come to hear. It was the story there is no unreasonable. Unreasonable only in that there is no plan of bandits is. Indeed agile. Yet to be prepared has been carefully carried out. Could not help not be surprised. The other. There is no place to doubt. Like a barbarian standing here. Man of the ugly face. It was not anything in Kato. It did not only boring one of the cock. Police officers of a dozen people in order to catch the boring cock. And I think that what played that large commotion. Chief of both 4 policemen. Too much of it. Just did not have the other Daawa to look at the stunned face. Then, Inspector San, my husband, went with you to meet you meet up, but I began to write such a thing. Torikichi cock. Open the chest of Jidoku. Take out a piece of paper that was mobbed. It was held out in front of the chief. Nakamura, chief of, and receive it as snatch. Stretched out the wrinkles, but was Yamikudashi quickly, while reading. The face of the chief of, too much of rage, looked weather has changed to purple. I have wording that was partitioned to full such as the following had been memo. Pearl River me say hi to the Kobayashi-kun. That is a quite haluva children. I think to the extent there is no way cute. But, that for much cute Kobayashi-kun. Cannot be at the expense of my oneself. Poison of the mind to that children who are due to win. But I always was doing given the real world of the lessons a little. be hostile to this 20 countenance at the skinny arms of children. The Pearl River tell her to have been already given up May. If you do not stiffness to this, it'll become terrible thing. The Pearl River me to tell. By the way, the police Shoko previously leaked my plan a little bit. Hashiba Mr. became a little bit of care in Germany. Do not be annoying anymore. To tell the truth, I in Anna poor art room. I cannot afford to not have obsession forever. I'm busy. Actually now, we have over a period of dabbling in larger ones. Whether it is how such a large business, coming soon, will be reached in Gentlemen of the Year. Let Omanika Karo of which also slowly. Then 20 countenance. Nakamura, Zenshiro Mr. Reader's Gentleman. Thus 20 countenance and Kobayashi Boy of Battle. Unfortunately, after all, was the end to the thief of victory. Moreover, 20 countenances, taunting the poor treasure trove of Hashiba House. We swagger the dabbling in large business. Exactly as his large business. What would it mean? Now what? You might not out of hand. Such as another Kobayashi boy. Is of the weight. Is the return of the Kogoro Akechi. It also I am quite sure that I will not buy too far. Oh, Detective Kogoro Akechi and the Fiend with 20 faces conflict. Among one sitting of the wisdom and the wisdom. Is not it Oshi etc. That day wait. Art Castle, about 4 kilometers from Shuzenji Hot Springs of the Izu Peninsula south. In the mountains along the Shimoda Highway, there is a very lonely village called Taniguchi Village. In the forest of the village out, I have built a Ikameshi mansion, such as the strange castle. Build a high earthen wall is around. On top of the earthen wall is the way ahead of sharp-pointed iron rod. Planted in like a needle of the mountain. Is out of the earthen wall is crocodile. The groove of about 4 meters width. Taken all round it has sewn in, and flows through lush water. As also depth unexpected tata back deepas. This is a precaution for not repel all people. Even overcame though the needle of the mountain earthen wall. In it, I mean that the moat that cannot be very jumping is are digging meditating. Then, in the middle, it does not have what castle tower. The thick white wall building and hole. The window of the small, we like storehouse. Such as several were gathered, and built a large building. People in the vicinity of that is. But we call this building as Kusakabe of the castle, and is not a matter of course true of the castle. It is not going to there. Such as the castle in such a small village. In this ridiculous precaution robust building, it would house of exactly who? That which is not known if the police of not was the warring states period. Now of the world, dat any rich? I am quite sure that I will not those who live in this much precaution group mansion. The escorbate you are living is exactly what people do. When you ask, such as those of the journey, as the villagers are determined, and something like this answer. Kaya's there. Arya, and castle husband difference care of Kusakabe. From being stolen treasure I say scary. Is a village with Suki Ayoshihei instead person. Kusakabe house. Ancestral, but it was a large landowner of the region. Is now of Salmon's generation. And vast estate be gone completely over the hand. Left is the mansion, such as the castle. The it has become only the numerous old paintings that are holdings in the Samoan old man. It was art collectors, such as the gas difference in mainly ancient paintings to say that art Toka Seshu Toga Tenyu. Even in elementary school of this has come out of the name. The work of the ancient large master was as good to say that gathered almost no leakage. Hundreds of the majority of the picture that the width is just masterpiece should be in national treasure. Was the rumor that would be a few tens of billion yen once you have the price. Now, the mansion of the Kusakabe house is. You'll understand why or that can precaution firmly as a castle. Samoan old man. It was not important therefore than the life of their masterpiece. Whether by chance it is not stolen a thief. Just that it was the fear of not forget even awake or asleep. Also dug a moat, even planted a needle on top of the fence. You still do not get peace of mind. At length, as if you look at the face of the visitors, and began to doubt whether not come to steal the picture. Both the people of honest village. It has become so not dating. Then, Samo, an old man, holed up in the year the castle, while looking at the paintings, which collected. Do not you almost go out? Too much to be absorbed in art. Bride also not Marawa, therefore children without, just living, such as have been born to the keeper of the paintings. Followed all the way, it did had unawares straining the slope of 60. In other words, the old man of the art of the castle was not that a strange castle. The old man even today, of the building, such as a white wall of a storehouse, in the secluded room, surrounded by the masterpieces of all time, was sitting quietly dreamy. Warm sunlight is shining to aurora in the open air, but the room just a small window that fit the iron enshrinement for precaution is like a prison cold. Dim to you, husband, drilled keep you na see. Your letter as I came. Voice of servant took a year out of the room was. It is to say that the servant in a wide mansion, this grandfather and bet you its futari kiri wife. Letter, do not unusual, bring to here. When the old man replied, ya heavy wooden doors that rattle in the other party. The same as crumpled in my husband grandfather. But I came in to hand a letter. Samo, an old man, but I saw the back and received it. You do not have a name introduction of the sender to be strange. It will from anyone, unfamiliar letter but since Athena has certainly become a Samon Kusakabe, somehow cut the seal. I tried to Yamiku Dashi. Oh, my husband, it's happening. I wonder if it is written to be a something worry. Grandfather and does not think. We built a Tonkyo cry voice. So, it was changed a state of Samon old man. Wrinkled face without a beard. Lost color has shriveled. Trembling lips that omission of the teeth. In the reading glasses. You little eyes glowing-ish anxiety. No, do not, what not any. I cannot know you in. Let not go away. Ask him to tell off in a shaking voice. G has returned to follow the bad. Let alone do anything. The old man did not fallen and lost its mind. It is about a mysterious. The letter, indeed, terrible words such as the following is because I had been shittatame. Introducer without any. Please forgive the proposal of the sudden. However, even without such as introducer, is yours truly is or is someone. I think it well you know on the newspaper. When I say the business easily. Yours truly is an ancient painting of Kilir treasured. I was decided to be charged without leaving one with. Upcoming November 15th day night. We always will be calling on. Suddenly in fisheries. To surprise your rotai is proposed that poisoning of care. You will notice in advance. 20 countenance. Samon Kusakabe. Oh. Kato 20 countenances. At last. To enthusiasts art collection in this Isuno Yama. Had his eye. He is disguised as a policeman. Since fled the hideout of Toyama Kehara. Will be almost a month. In the meantime, if Kato is not what you wear is. Everyone there is nothing to know. Perhaps create a new hiding place. Gathered minions of Shaw's. Second, Will was plotting a third of the terrible conspiracy. Then, the first it was built is singled out. It was surprising the mountains. Kusakabe House of Art Castle. Speaking of the night of the November 15th day. It tonight. Oh, now that eagle what was aimed to be the S. 20 countenance if. Again. Be tantamount no longer eagle of the treasure. He is. The Metropolitan Police Department of even by force. If not a terrible thief could not be also. I do not finish in the police of the hands of such a single country be. Oh, eagles another ruin. If much would be taken this treasure, yeah would rather die rather. Quote. Samo, an old man, suddenly stood up so as not to sit still, began to walk round and round the room. Oh, yeah, luck of luck. The other escaped soup is not. Unawares pale wrinkled face of the old man, it was wet with tears. Oh, there is Kana. Oh, was what? Eagle began to think. Eagle began to think. Why? Until now. Probably I did not notice there. God. Ya not Nasara discarded still see you this eagle. When me not even that person. Eagle might survive. Quote. What to do came up. In the face of the old man. Has prevailed is suddenly animated. Hey, Sakuzo, or not a Sakuzo. The old man go out of the room. While beating the Pampanga in hand. It was built called a partition. Gee unpleasant. The voice of unusual husband, and you will be grandfather and is rushed. Early. Bring me to Izu daily. But I think it was certainly the day before yesterday in the newspaper. Because anything good 3. Bring me collectively sentence 4 days it is early. It is early. And it was ordered by the terrible Aponerosis. Sakuzo is in a wait futame, and brings the tobacco in the local newspaper that the Izu daily. The old man take hand also frustrating. But we all look at one by one in the social. After all the day before yesterday of the 13th day in the news column. I had come out the article. Such as the following. Mr. Koguro Akechi Ryo Samu. Guru Koguro Akechi private detective. Long time. But there was a business trip to a foreign country and recently the mission really bellflower. In order to rest the fatigue of travel. Today repair temple hot spring, Toshuku to Fujiya Ryokan. 4. It is scheduled for 5 days stay. This is it. This is it. People that can be hostile 20 countenance. In the not in the other. Hashiba house of theft of this Akechi detective. Even the children are something assistant Kobayashi. It was the work of so much. It's if the teacher Akechi detective. The difference in us save the ruin of Kitowashi is not. Even if there is anything. Not come pull this name detective alongside. Quote. The old man. Muttering such a monologue. If you ask the kimono call Sakuzo grandfather and wife. Tight and perfect as sturdy wooden doors of the treasure room. Multiplied by the key from the outside. The servant of Futari, in the previous is the turn Hari scene, and told her firmly, went out hurriedly in mansion. Needless to say, the destination is near the repair temple onsen Fujiya Ryokan. Go there. Met in Akechi detective. It means that hello there to protect the treasure. Oh, I long awaited name detective Koguro Akechi. Have finally returned. Moreover, at the time also where some places, as also in like a conspiracy, just 20 countenance will osu that, in the immediate vicinity of the Kusakabe's art castle, and no matter to come to a bathing is, for Samon old man, indeed, must nay said to be happy there is no hope. Name detective Koguro Akechi, dressed in the mouse-colored kite. Samon old man of small reluctantness. In the long slope to just not run and restlessly. Was attached to the Fujiya Ryokan. Was already afternoon around 1 o'clock. Koguro Akechi teacher. And it asks if the answer and has been going out fishing in the back of Tanagawa. So, I asked the maid to guide. Also a tekateku. Did we must cage to Tanagawa? Kumazasa was Sushiga, such as, through the road dangerous, and go down to the deep valley. Beautiful water was flowing built the sound of babbling. In some places of the flow, such as stepping stones, big rock has been put out his head. That on top of the most large flat rock, man of one of the Datara appearances, and round the back, and stared at the dripping was fishing Rodak's destination. That it is our teacher Akechi. Maid is standing ahead, while jumping in Pyoi the rocks went close to buckwheat of the man. Teacher. That. This gentleman is. Say want to see you to the teacher. But I was all the way may leave come from a distance. In his voice, a man of Datara figure is the noisy likely to turn around here. Do not be a big voice. Or fish not it escapes. He was rebuked with. Hair was disordered and shaggy. Sharp eyes. If anything pale arguments I face. High nose. Rather than the beard, there is no difference in Akechi name detective remember a look at the kit and muffled lips of force. Photo. I these things. While Samon old man held out his business card. I was to ask if there is please go down to the teacher but and I was bent over a small waist. Then a catchy detective. But it has received to receive a business card. I do not even look good. Or else the PETA likely. Oh, really? In any misuses? Saying, also have been distracted to the fishing rod axe destination. The old man told her to go back to the earlier made it from and send a look at the rear view. Teacher, tell the truth today, I received a letter like this. If, in the example from the bosom, and taken at a notice like 20 countenance, to the front of the face of the detective looking just your fishing rod. It was protruding. Oh, also escape gone was. I troubled hey. Is so much nasu, interfere with the fishing. It is the letter I. Exactly as the letter. You're right, and what related to me? Akechi is only a surly. You do not know the thief teacher, which is referred to as the 20 countenance. Samon old man, a little make of mukapara was Ihonachi sharp. Who at 20 countenance that? 20 countenance is do you say that Taurus the letter? Name detective without a single line of surprised looks of it. We ever have staring at the fishing rod axe destination. So, the old man reluctantly, the Kato notice like, up to read on their own. Or what kind of treasure in the castle of the Kusakabe house has been treasured. Was the story in detail. Oh, you was the husband of that strange castle. Akechi seemed was finally attracted the interest, healed orientation toward the old man. Yes, it is. That old masterpiece such as the treasure hard to place in Eagle of Life. Akechi teacher, if please help this old man. It is ask, in eye on how white whether you say you. Immediately, we want Nagai come to my home. And, I'd like to observe the eagle of the treasure. Did you to the police deliver? I something to them with the story. First of all, but to wish the protection of the police I think that order. No, and it is. But what as I say this? The eagles of Nikki in the news a teacher than the police. Turn 20 countenance on the other. The detectives. Not to take the sink is not in addition to the teacher that. The eagle is the Nikki believe. And, because you do not have here only a small police precinct is. I was to call the criminal of masterful. It takes a long time. After all 20 countenances. I because you that attack the place of the eagle tonight. Have you been slow Leda? Just on that day, teacher Nanti doth come to this hot spring. Is what most so exactly the god of your Hikiawase. The raw please teacher. Old man scratch. Please help if the dodge. Quote. Samon old man, in the only awasan the hand, Ikakika doku. If you say it is so. Let's anyway to undertake. 20 countenance is the enemy for me. Me appear quickly to the. But as I had long awaited. So, whether you come to Gawisho. Before that, it must have been the time being as meeting also with the police. Back to the inn let's make a phone call from me. Then, to prepare the event. The two, let's ask the support of 3 people criminal. You please return your to jump ahead. I and criminal and together. You immediately rushed. Quote. Tone of Akechi is. Has been suddenly charged with heat. We do not their audience something you another fishing rod. Thank you, thank you. This is thought to give Eagle even millions of allies. While the old man Nadia Roshi the chest, repeatedly, it was to say thank you. Overnight of anxiety. Samon Kusakabe old man. Skip a car that was hired in Shuzenji. From the back to the castle of Taniguchi village. After about 30 minutes, one line of Kogoro Akechi has arrived. The party. In addition to the Akechi detective was Kike in black clothes that fit perfect and only. Stalwart gentleman 3 men's clothing business suit. Everyone in the criminal police precinct justified, respectively, issued a business card of the title with, and Samon old man we exchanged greetings. The old man immediately, and guided to the recessed masterpiece of room 4 people, hanging scrolls and was lined hung on the wall, or stacked on shelves housed in a box. It showed the tremendous national treasure masterpiece, was one by one to explain the venerable Korea very much. Hey as your collection should be quite amazing. I also ancient painting a big favorite. if there is free time. But I look around and treasures of the museum and temples. Historical masterpiece. So room they were gathered in. I have never seen. The of Kinata Fine Arts 20 countenances wearing the eye. I do not wonder. It seems drips drew leave in me. Quote, a catchy detective, such as those which is not withstand an exclamation, for one of the paintings. But it did arranging a compliment. Word of the criticism is, too detailed enough to fall short of experts of the road. Indeed of Samoan old man also I have surprised. And, just in case of respect for the name detective, it was the all the more deeper. Now, in a little early, and it dispensed the everyone dinner. Now that more and more attached to the department of painting's patron. Akechi is a snappy the tone, and the orders to 3 men of criminal. One was into the masterpiece room, alone in front gate, one on his back door, each to stay up all night. Served the turn Hari scene. Suspicious once recognized the appearance of things. I immediately had decided to signal that sounding blow the whistle, criminalus, and get to the respective departments. A catchy detective, a sturdy wooden doors of the paintings chamber. Tighten Pishari from the outside. It has led over the keys to the old man. I, in front of this door, let's that working hard all night. Name detective to say so, in front of the tatami corridor of wooden doors, sat Dokuri. Teacher, you'll be fine, as I say these things to the teacher. But it may be rude. Your opponent after all. It because seems like a magician guy. Eagle. Somehow still, aghast such that a non-confidence I have to. But, quote, the old man while watching the complexion of Akechi, you ask nice difficulty likely. Ha ha ha, never making any worry. I'm a little while I go. I was examined enough. To the windows of the room are fit as tight iron enshrinement. The walls there is also a 3 centimeters thick. It Chido ya do not break in gently. Criminal you are in the middle of the room. Tompa look at the eyes. Moreover, the only one of the doorway. I because I have my own is hard. No more. Beware it is not much use. You are at ease. It would be better to nasu. Good night. Even if they come here. I because the same thing. Quote, Akechi even recommend as the old man does not know very much. No, eagles also let's stay up all night here. Tat saying to bed, so it does not include. But are awake? Say so. I would sat down to beside the detective. Well, you might want this better to Nasaru so. I also convenient and be someone to talk to. I guess let's fight in painting theory. Indeed detective a veteran, has Suhara calm as hateful. Then, the two have become a comfortable position. But as what began the story of trickle-down old paintings, speaks of is only Akechi. The old man has no fidgeting and calm. Is the plight cannot be Rokuroku come back. The Samoan old man, as seems to be either only than a year. After a long time, at last, was among the 12 o'clock. It is midnight. Akechi sometimes, to wooden doors over, but had been called out in a room of the criminal. In each case, in clear the tone from within. We have heard a reply that there is no abnormality. Ah, I was getting a little sleepy. Akechi is yawning. Guy of 20 countenance. I might not yet go tonight. I because there will not be a fool come jump into such genju vigilance. Your old man. You like, one to Nemakazamashi this kind of luxury guy is in a foreign country. I'm doing spa, quote, and open snap a cigarette case. It also is pinching one. It did hold out in front of the old man. I guess would be the case. I guess you will not come tonight. Samoan old man, while taking Egypt tobacco that has been proffered, I say ish still anxiety. No, I decide to get peace of mind. He does not it s never a fool. If you know that the best here, there is no going to come no way unconcernedly. Then to cut off the words for some time, while the two of the thinking of altogether, but had been smoking a cigarette and mouth-watering. Around the time it was completely turned to ash. Akechi also by yawning. I'm slightly sleeping. You also good night, Nani. Okay. Samurai is say I awake to the sound of the bridle. I profession grounds. The eyes to the sound of what shinobi foot masu you. I sleep not for the mind. Quote, when I think or say such a thing, lying at length in front of the wooden doors, I was blocking the eyes, and it soon began to hear peacefully and calm sleepers breathing. The detective of gesture that was accustomed to old man mind is not in the gas bar sleeps, and so but ate increasingly ear, and my miss any faint noises. It was hard. I feel will as something strange sound is heard. I wonder if tinnitus, or I wonder if the wind falls on the treetops of the nearby forest. Then, when you have listened to keep up dandruff budding tonight but as can be seen clearly, it becomes a gradually empty in the head before the eyes will continue hazy as mist. When the notice with a start, in the pale white haze, a man of black clothes that Hikarashi just ice, not the air confronted with the haze. Up, Akechi teacher, is a thief, is a thief. Involuntarily raised a loud voice, it was to shake the shoulder of the sleeping Akechi. This is what? Is not that noisy? Where I am there are bandits. Even in a dream would be came to see. Detective will not be motionless, I did say to tell off. Indeed, whether now's a dream, or you might was a phantom, no matter how look at turn, such as a man of black clothes, I do not palm anywhere in moi. The old man worse a little embarrassed, returned to the original posture remained silent, also, but I listened, then in the same way as earlier, is in my head is to smooth stop and empty. Even in front of the Ayagamuragari start, the main house becomes darker little by little, eventually, and become dark like a black cloud, and the feeling, such as the body goes depressed even to the deep land of the bottom. The old man, unawares doze often sleeping I have, how much of her was asleep. In the meantime, Jew, while like, such as fell even to hell, continue to look at just a dream terrible. If you wake up suddenly eyes, that I was surprised is, you can hit has become quite bright. Oh, eagle do not, but I was asleep to have an nani taught care, I wonder was Nanzo why or sleeping. While Samon old man cracked there was no way in wonder. Looking, Akechi detective in the appearance of the remains of last night, still asleep and sleeping soundly. Oh, I was saved. It as 20 countenances no fear in Akechi detective. Lookin' did not finally yet go. Thankfully. The old man Nadia Roshi the hot in chest, was Yurikoshi the detective quietly. Teacher, please. The other night was New Year's happening. Akechi is awake immediately oh, ha, had good sleeping, look. Everything does not it, as there was no one. Saying, it was to a large growth. Detectives look at the beam number also, because it is no doubt would be sleepy. All right now, and give you even rice. Is not that will eat tadako as slowly rest. That's right, now please open the door. The old man, remains to be said, and taken out a key from the flashlight. Remove the interference. Open the rattle and wooden doors. However, to open the door, and I think at first glance around the room, called Kia, from the mouth of the old man, as though strangled. I cry was Hatabashi. What's happening? What happened? Akechi be surprised to rise we accept the room. Oh, there. The old man no power to hear the mouth, while refers to the strange broken. Your hands are trembling, has pointed to the room. Looking. Oh, I surprise of the old man was not never impossible. The old paintings in the room, also there was over the wall, also had each other piled up in shelves housed in a box. Do not remain one, or does not have gone like drown out is. Guardian of the detective, and fallen as beaten on the tatami. What is Ama? You're writing a gugu to Kaibiki. Then teacher, Bran, has been stolen. Oh, eagle. Samon old man, 10 years in a moment also. Such as old age, become a tremendous face. Just rang the Munagora of Akechi. Devil of wisdom. Oh, I thing happened to impossible yet again. 20 guy that countenances, rather than a human being, is a ghost that might have true character. That exactly the impossible. Because I pull off to so comfortably. Akechi has walked into the determinedly in room. The around the waist of criminal you are snoring was kicked suddenly, and aced for the bandits. Did you like that? Built the other completely belly. Hey, do you the Pearl River? I got up. I do not. It's here. Asked him I please rest see the Pearl River. Or not, it had been completely stolen. The detective, but has caused a barely body, still half asleep in the plight. Cormoran. What? I'm a stolen no. Parent had completely asleep. Here is where would you? In sleepy face, it is the settlement turning look and the look around the room. Firmly Shitame. Oh, okay. I think you are done with anesthetic. I think out in me to May. There was a last night what? Akechi grabbed the criminal of the shoulder, was to shake wildly. Kodo. Oh, I am to Akechi's. Here was the art castle Kusakabe. Crap. I was beaten. That's right. Is anesthetic. In the middle of the night last night. The black shadow such things as is. I stalked to my back. And, as to the something soft unpleasant smell, I was choked my nose and mouth. It once and for all. Suet piercer. I became not know anything. Quote, the detective in barely eyes of the shark was how, or else apologetically, it did look around the painting room of empty. It was still so, criminal gentlemen who had guarded the front gate and the back gate also might be in the same eye. Akechi is saying to himself, but went fledgling the room. I have heard the call to loud after a while. Towards the kitchen. Kusakabe-san, please come here, please. And Nanagodoka, and the old man and the criminal is. If you try to go to the better to the voice. Akechi has pointed to in the standing at the entrance of the servant room. Even in the back gate and front gate. Criminal princes of shadow does not see. Not just it. Behold, poor thing, is this settlement, looking, in a corner of the servant room. Sakuzoji hate and it's your wife is bound to Takata coat, been bitten until the gag, or does not have rolling. Of course is the work of bandits. Well, as yet not a hand. I had strapped a servant of Futari. Oh, is that what? Akechi-san, this is that what? Kusakabe old man. On the other frantic tay. Was Sumiyori to Akechi. Since the treasure that was thought too important than the life I had banished in one night like a dream. That you do not wonder. No, I do not have anything I would like so. 20 countenance was the so much of the arm before and did not know. Blunders that had been underestimated opponent. Blunders? Akechi-san. Anta is Ijaro live in blunders. Konawashi is how can I earth? Name detective, only detective and reputation. What this Zama is. The old man turned pale, and glared at Akechi with bloodshot eyes. At any moment, is the Aponerosis just as Toba Kakanara? Akechi is or else I'm afraid. But had Sashi at Sumui, eventually. If you look at the face that was raised with a high oi. This is will of what was. Name detective not laughing. The laughter went spread to face each Eamon. And so unexpected accumulate and funny at length the other funny. Make a loud voice. Not the began to laugh. Kusakabe old man. I have been taken aback. Akechi is the mortification that aced the bandits. Did you also different in the gas? Akechi-san, you're what's wrong? This, in what is referred to as funny with. Wahahaha, am funny. Detective Kogoro Akechi. But you do not Zama. Like to twist the baby's hand. Is not that had been done to comfortably. 20 guy is a helluva that countenance. I'll respect the guy. Quote, state of Akechi is more and more strange. This, Mr. Akechi, happening. Not if you are vertical praise the bandits. Check. This is a Zama that what well. Oh, and, the Sakuzo s poor will leave this. Detectives. Not to vaguely. Please doing by solving the I of early. Gag even remove it. Do it as not something that also get mouth from pirates of clues Sakuzo that way. Quote, Akechi is, because the thing which has not become a single line news is the other way around. The settlement that Kusakabe old man to an order like a detective. Now it is the instruction of your old man. Pearl River Yari preaching the Nawa. Akechi was a strange Meku-based criminal. Then, the criminal that had been vaguely until now, healed suddenly shonen falling, and I think was taken out of the policeman's rope of a bundle from the pocket. Around suddenly behind Kusakabe old man, multiplied by the pat Nawa. Round and round it began tied with this, what to do, oh, etc. Always this guy also, but how to tie the S. Eagle just care difference. Not to tie the eagle. Are lying in there. Ya solve the Nawa Futari. This. Eagle in to say that there is no, quote, however, the criminal does not try to loosen the handline. Remain silent. We have finally tied up the old man to Takata coat. This. My difference is me. This. What to do? Oh, painful, painful. To say that hurts. Akechi-san. And to S what are you laughing? Or Kudasara does bear. This man seems to mind was different. Early. Please ask him to solve the Nawa. This. To say the Akechi-san. Quote. The old man. What has become not knows somehow not. Well everyone gathered was worrisome difference. Otherwise, there is no law anti-tie up the client's case. Also look at it. Detective do not be foolish laughing grinning. Your old man, it has become who you're called. Akechi Toka saying was seems to be, but Akechi himself, I began to say such a thing. S what are you saying the joke? Akechi-san, and to my albeit never had forgotten his name. This I do. Do you say this I that it is Kogoro Akechi? Akechi is spoofing, it is to say more and more strange things. Do not you Nikki been determined? That would a fool. Ha ha ha. Your old man. You what? Is not that I was somehow Nasu. Z not healing the human Nanti Akechi here. When the old man hear it, open the pokin and mouth, made a face, such as pinched even to the fox. I do not speechless mouth is suddenly too much of it. Your old man, do you sometimes became a previously Kogoro Akechi and meet you? I never met. Potatoes we know well look at the pictures. Photo. Hey is a bit mind pot along with a photograph. The photo do you say the even and I are similar. To be continued. Thank you for your viewing. If you like please subscribe to the channel. I am very encouraged.